No, 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 no. Please, please leave. I've already called the police.
Yeah.
But it was like they would do it. They kept on going back and forth these shots between like Dawn is like up against the lockers, and the three girls are like me. They're reaming her out for being a dumb goth and blah blah blah. And they would cut to like the 30-year-old one, and like instead of there being a bank of lockers like in a locker room, it was just like an office setting with like a TV hanging up in the corner of the. It's like either this is like the worst. Like, why is there a TV in the locker room? It's horrible. I mean,
Well, there wasn't a camera.
right? That's what you would hope.
Yeah.
It's like the pervert gets this wrong. He's sitting in his room with the camera in his room. Why isn't this working? He put it in backwards.
The only scene that I actually kind of remember, like, decently vividly is when they eventually get to the bar and, like, what's her name? Bambi's all disfigured to look... She looks like a Buffy the vampire, just really shittily done.
Yeah.
Like, which is impressive because I still think they look atrocious in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And they walk in, and the way that she's sort of flirting with the server and just creeping her out, and then just what she juts her hand through her and like takes out her freaking heart, which is hilarious because where she punches would be nowhere near your heart. She'd have pulled out like the
I thought
spine.
she pulled out a lung.
Oh, it was a lung.
I think it was a lung. Yeah. I mean,
Still lower than where the lung
it was
is.
definitely not where a lung would be,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it wasn't
Maybe-
a heart.
maybe-
It could have been a kidney, but a really
Again,
big
guys.
kidney.
It was like a giant kid.
A giant liver. You know what? I would drink a lot if I lived in that.
Guys,
town.
guys,
I'd drink a lot
I
if I was
just
in this film.
I just need to
While
remind you
watching
that
this
the filmmaker of this movie came from Tennessee. Like, his ideas of anatomy are probably, babies come from goo juice that you put in the girl's belly button. I don't know. Like, it's probably, so maybe to him, he's like, oh yeah, the lungs are like, down in the belly,
That's why my belly's so swollen.
Yeah.
So full of air. No. You're going to die.
Also, our auteur, Mr. Donald Farmer, was in the film. He played the father. Didn't say any lines because of his overbearing wife. I think he does that where
He whispers into her ear when like, what? Like, the therapist's right there.
Yeah.
Your daughter's right. Speak. But maybe that's for the best. Maybe he sounded like, Gilbert Gottfried or something like that.
You want me to do my Gilbert Gottfried, don't you?
I kind of want you to because I can't.
Yeah.
I can't do it on spot. No, it's also very loud, and we're wearing headphones, so I think I might blow everyone's eardrums out.
Oh, God.
But wait, no.
Give it
No,
a
I
go.
have to. I can only do him yelling, and I don't feel like yelling right now. The dog might start barking.
Yeah. But, Ro, you also talk about when we were talking about different horror movies that you're not really a fan of gore and anything like that. But there is technically gore in this film.
Then you were fine with it?
No, I don't. It's bearable. You know what I mean? I don't enjoy it, but I can watch it. And if I think there's probably a few parts that I don't watch the whole. I'm like, okay, I get it. Ripping and biting this gross fake heart, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I thought honestly that there was going to be more weird fake gore in this.
Especially with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
Took off the head. It just kind of flops down.
I know, the fucking blonde wig too. I was like, guys, come on.
The school counselor played by Debbie Rochon, who dies for no reason. Her only contribution to the plot was be a cheerleader, and then the next scene with her in it, she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna play with myself and get murdered."
By Malthus. Apparently
By
that worm creature has a name.
Oh wow, are you?
No, because we watched it and we were listening, and it's like, what did she say? Because she's like, oh no, it's just a friend.
Yeah, I rewatched this morning. So
Literally watching it.
yeah,
You
and
came over.
and I got here and it's on the TV, and then so we went back to confirm that whatever that fucking worm.
I was gonna
Well,
go
to check it was Dawn.
Well,
to
yeah,
check
because
it
I
was...
swear to God, her mom calls her Dawn at one time, which I wouldn't even. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Like, I know.
The director's is like, good enough.
It's like Ed Wood.
Yeah, it's
Perfect.
Perfect. We'll fix it in post.
Yeah.
And nothing got fixed in post. Things were made worse in post. I thought it was particularly nice that that the wormhole from Sliders got some work after it's run on television. Wormholes need work in Hollywood, so
Because they got 3 appearances. Right?
Yeah.
Because they got right off the bat when I didn't realize they were time travelers because I forgot that part.
Yeah, like where they came from in that.
Yeah, I just
scene.
assumed. I'm like, okay, it's 1508 or whatever. I'm like,
It's
yeah.
1800s.
Is it 1800?
I don't know. I wrote 1800 AD.
She said 500 years ago.
I said on the screen. I wrote down.
Again, the
1800.
director's from
Corey's
Tennessee.
looking at his TV. He's like,
I'm
I'm
like
gonna go
trying to
fucking
turn around,
look.
I'm
I'm gonna
like-
go check right now.
It's kinda
Maybe I
bad.
rounded. I don't know, but AD. I don't know.
I know that it said AD in the
Maybe it
wedding script. And just
Maybe
plain
it was
old Europe.
1500 AD. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like
Like his math could be terrible. 500 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know if
1800. What?
the math is mathing, but
So, Ro, you seem to have comprehensive notes.
I don't. They're not comprehensive.
Oh no! Well,
They're
Corey,
neat.
Corey, do you have
One of
anything?
them are they neat? They're not neat either. Well, it's a lot of question marks.
Okay, let's go. Let's try to fill in those gaps. Me and Corey, we'll try
Some
to
gaps.
to parse what you wrote because you were probably very baked.
The first time I went, well, yeah, I think the first time definitely, which is why there's a lot of things like just notes that just say like LOL, Lucinda, LOL, or just for why. I did write down Chastity is the comedy, but that's not even her name. It's Chassis, so I feel really bad about that. But I would say the redeemable part of this movie was, for me, it was Chassis. Like her, she was just so dumb, but so good. Like her one-liners near the end, she really just saved the movie
Her
for
really
me.
horny cheer when she says "horny in California."
It rhymes with horny. How could you not love Chassis? Also, at the end, she was just like, "Yeah, kick that like bitch's ass back to whatever." I
Yeah,
don't know.
and
She saved it for me. I think without her,
And she killed Malthus.
yeah, she did.
And Dawn got a bukkake shot of yellowish orange goo.
Yeah, which
No, why was
I don't know.
that's probably the director's
no.
goo because he's probably very ill.
Why is
He's,
it
yeah,
orange?
very-
Yeah, why is it
Just
orange?
very ill. Tennessee drinking water.
Yeah. Ooh.
Just
Big splash of Kool-Aid. Oh yeah.
No,
Actually, it is the South. It'd be Gatorade.
fair.
so they didn't really explain why the school counselor had to die. It was just
Also, why they had to emphasize that the vibrator was touching her because they couldn't show that. But it was
Yeah.
like,
I know. I was listening to that. I was like, I don't know.
the Foley guy is just like going through his notes and post production. It's like vibrator. Okay, vibrator noise. Bzzz, vibrating intensifies. So he's just like, he just throws it in a ceramic bowl. No?
Yeah, it kind of sounded like that.
It
actually.
definitely sounded
Yeah.
like she was like, "It's not feeling right. Just jam it." Get it in there. Think, what?
Well, it's not working because it's not in there far enough, right? That's how the goos work. You just,
Yeah. That's exactly it. Yeah, you cracked the code.
yeah, I figured it out. You just if they're just like yawn, you just deeper, harder, faster, right? Just
Daft Punk would agree.
just-
probably.
Yeah, Daft Punk. Yeah, collecting royalty from that now. Kidding. Nobody has talked about Dax yet.
God.
oh,
Pony-
Dax.
I wrote down
or Dawn's
ponytail
tattoo.
guy for the first bit because I didn't even realize his name until the tramp.
So
I
yeah,
thought he was from the really shitty intro. Like, we're gonna make a home sex movie.
That's why I also had a tally of like, is this just porn?
Yeah, I thought it was going that way
Yeah,
when that
absolutely.
happened.
But then it's like, just kidding, it's your mom watching it.
Yeah.
Just-
Fool you.
You're in trouble.
And her fucking tattoo of Dax.
I was actually quite impressed that that tattoo remained there for the whole movie.
Yeah.
Like at least the continuity guy was like, yeah, some of these
Filmed that fucking movie in one day. That's probably why.
yeah, some of these shots are mismatched, but I made sure that her tramp stamp still said tax.
And it does not run. Like,
Yeah.
Even with
Was part of that tramp stamp real and the Dax part fake, or was the whole thing
again, I kind of
fake?
want to pull it up and be like,
Yeah.
how am I looking at this?
Because I think it might have just been the Dax add-on, which I would respect.
Yeah.
Big respect if you whip out your tramp stamp. Like, absolutely.
So I have some notes. Is there anything in your notes that you're like,
Critical point to get to.
I don't know why we needed the dead kitten plot. I don't know. That was a weird storyline.
Yeah,
Oh my God,
right
my
before you
grandma,
came in,
yeah.
that was that. I was like, why are
Yeah.
you telling this
Just a
story?
dead cat smushed in the road, and then she was like, "Oh, but it wasn't mine. Just kidding." But I thought Venus was a ghost. I was like, What did this benefit to this movie? Like, we know you're goth. Like, we know.
somebody saw Gremlins and they're like, yeah, let's have a Phoebe Cates character that just says just devastatingly depressive
But then-
things.
Chassie did come in with like a good one-liner, and she was just like, "This sounds like some Pet Cemetery shit."
Yeah.
And that's why I love
Classic
Chassie, because I think
Chassie.
she brought a little bit of realism, you know, a little bit of
Referencing a
Yeah.
better movie,
Yeah.
So some of my thoughts were, I do have to give credit where credit is due. Tiffany Shep did the best with what she had to work with.
She is creepy. Like, I could see her being in like an actual like a witch in a decent production, because she could play that. Like,
Yeah.
if given the resources, given
Given-
motivation, not being in such a depressing environment, probably.
So I also said, like, it would take a miracle worker for this clunky script to work, and I think they could have separated some of the budget for some better microphones and some time in an ADR booth. The screaming girl at the beginning woke up my cat, Mr. Matches, and he wasn't happy about it, so that's a strike against this movie. It's interesting to see Tiffany's character was able to remove a human heart through the wrong part of the body.
Yeah.
For a filmmaker so obsessed with cannibalism, he sure doesn't have a fucking clue about human anatomy. So
Also, she puts down the knife, I think, after she cuts her open and is just digging around. I'm like, you didn't need the knife to cut off like the aorta and all the different
Oh, no,
she's just ripping them out.
just
She
comes
can
right
turn
out.
bones to dust. She doesn't need.
She didn't need no strong man.
The occult shop, I wrote that it's filled with crap too cheap to be even found at Spirit of Halloween. Shitty audio. I can hear a fan in the background. Shop owner keeps doing this annoying head tilt. It doesn't make you sound spooky, and she has like stilted Shatner talk.
Oh God, yeah,
Yeah,
her
that's-
the witch enthusiast.
Yes, yeah.
Also, 500-year-old knife. Why would you sell it to a high school play? Like,
I don't.
She never
didn't.
intended to sell it.
she-
She was just
yeah.
straight up like, I'm gonna kill you.
But she's like-
she was like, ha ha ha.
she's like, oh, you need a prop for your play. Here's a 500-year-old dagger.
Yeah.
How much money you got, kid? I got $5. That's sold. Like,
Speaking of her too, how did they not get? Probably because the producers never gave a shit about this kind of a film, but they literally steal from Army of Darkness. I think it's in one of the Evil Deads as well. Klaatu Verata. Next
yeah.
to, and it's like you say it once. What's her name? Tiffany's character says it improperly.
Yeah.
Which, as we've seen, a good movie, Army of Darkness, it should have fucked up everything.
Yeah.
And then the goth witch enthusiast says it properly.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not homage.
That's
suable.
I mean, that's a double whammy because it's reminding you of Army of Darkness, a better movie, and also it's reminding you of The Day the Earth Stood Still, which
Yep.
is where that phrase comes from, which is also another better movie. So it's just like
and Pet Cemetery, better movie.
what else? And then the house the witch enthusiast owns is like that weird ass log cabin, and there's that weird lurch type character just
drools with the chainsaw.
Yeah.
He's chainsawing.
That was the first chainsaw of the movie besides the intro. Because I wrote down 30 minutes in, there's no chainsaws, and then she turns the corner. And drooling on himself in the garden.
The intro I find freaking hilarious because I was like, it's trying to be a mix between like sexy Bond almost, like it's like the Bond girls kind of idea,
or Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, and I look